You can't kill damnation, mister. It don't die like a man dies. Back on the squawk box, it's the Masters of the Universe Master of Crime himself, Gangstor. Hootin' and a hollerin' at ya. This time, however, not about Masters of the Universe, but instead something a little different. Today I'm here to talk to you about one of the highest scoring killers in the game, namely one Michael Aubrey Myers, and what's going on with the final installment in his currently running trilogy, Halloween Ends. What? I can't talk about something not related to the He-Mans? I mean, Mikey did show up on Eternia once. At any rate, when I got wind of the new installment currently filming in Savannah, Georgia, I decided to pay me a visit. Do me a bit of my own personalized aggressive investigation. Try to get to the bottom of whether some of the rumors I've been a-hearing are true. And what I found might surprise you. But first, a rumor recap. Now, not to slow things down, I'll try to cover this as quickly as possible. So, the rumor going around, based on several sources of speculation, is that a radio tower introduced in and rather shoehorned into the story of the previous installment, Halloween Kills, would play an integral part in this here final installment, Halloween Ends. The idea being that this tower is somehow responsible for Maya's actions, and perhaps even his seemingly supernatural abilities. There's several videos that have already deep dived into the topic, and are worth checking out if you haven't already. One theory drawing on the plot from the non-canonical Halloween 3, which had nothing to do with Myers, but the theory purports so far as to state that his mask is somehow related to the evil mask-making company from that film, who tried to beam a signal directly into people's homes to kill their kids via said Halloween masks. Crazy as that film was on its own quirky merits, the fan theory purports that Michael's iconic white Shapo Shatner mask is indeed a silver shamrock mask. But rather than killing Mikey, it instead gives him some sort of unholy evil energization, and could be potentially doing this via transmissions from that alleged radio tower. So I got to asking myself, is it possible? Can it be that Halloween Ends is only the end of Mikey's saga, and in reality, the start of another? Perhaps the start of some form of shared cinematic universe of Halloween horror. At the very least, is there any merit to this radio tower nonsense? Well, Savannah is a familiar stopping ground of mine, almost like a second home to me. Gee, I wonder why. Oftentimes I find myself here pleading the fifth of vodka, but the point is, I know the terrain and I know what to expect. With that said, this is really just a matter of showing you what I already know. So under the cover of darkness, I departed so dearly early in the AM. And much like Mikey, I too was drawn to its presence. See it there? Off in the distance. Let's go behind enemy lines for an even closer look. Now, look at what we have here. Could this be the tower in question? I mean, for fuck's sake, Why else would the film production choose to hang out down here with them juicy peaches? If it wasn't for the fact that the city didn't have a big-ass radio tower right in the middle of the downtown area. And depending on which angle you shoot it from, it can either look like it's part of a bigger city, a small town, or out in the middle of nowheres. As for the size, it may not be as big as what we saw briefly in Halloween Kills. However, forced perspective, digital matte paintings, and all other manner of cinematic trick-or-treatery can be used to extend the physical structure to appear as large as it needs to be. But believe me, peeps, being here in person at the ground level and looking up, it's pretty fucking big. So could this be the source of Mikey's evil power? Or could it be where he finally meets his demise? Who knows? Maybe he chases Lori up the service gantry there until they reach the top, and then lightning strikes. Or maybe he pulls a Kong and falls face first in the final act. We'll have to wait until this fall to know for sure. However, that's not the only noteworthy landmark that's located here. And wouldn't you know it, it's also got something to do with the rumors. What we know about Halloween Ends is that it will take place 4 years after the conclusion of Halloween Kills. In that time, Myers is missing, with his house having been bulldozed, which not only begs the question of where is he, but also where does he live? Maybe he currently resides inside the radio tower, or maybe perhaps underneath it. You see, it's been revealed that the working title of the movie was Cave Dweller. Now, the previous installment's working title was Mob Rules, and that actually ended up having a bearing on the plot. So will this also be true of Halloween Ends? Could Cave Dweller mean something? Cave Dweller, as in someone who lives in a cave. Well, in addition to a damn radio tower, the city is quite literally littered with caves, or tunnels, or vaults, or whatever the hell you want to call them. The whole network of catacombs in this city dates back into antiquity, at one time used by pirates for purposes both various and nefarious. Later on, used to ferry slaves to freedom in a quite literal underground railroad. And then during the Prohibition era, where ne'er-do-wells, not unlike myself, used them to get their hands on the hooch, moving it in and out of the city. Nowadays, it's pretty much a defunct system, with a good bit of it having been closed off, shut down, filled in with dirt and or concrete. Side note, the city coincidentally is still servicing and filling in underground tunnels in the downtown area, even as of the making of this very video you are now watching. These are pics of the laborious amount of construction on the tunnel system going on right now. However, some areas around the city are still rather easily accessible. Take this area, for example. Let us descend downward for a closer look. As we're walking around down here, I just want you to take note of one thing. How unbelievably eerie this location is. And note that I am filming in broad daylight. Come to think, I know me a broad named Daylight. That nasty hoe still owes me 5 G's. Yeah, whatever. I'll deal with her in due time, but back to the tunnel. This is in broad daylight, people. Can you imagine how much more odious this would be at night, with the proper cinematographic lighting techniques and such? Just look around at this dank, disturbing dungeon. It's odious and ominous, downright abominous. It's got to make you wonder, could this be Michael's new home. I find it no coincidence that the radio tower is located here on the map, with these caves being located here. A walking distance of only about 20 minutes or so between both locations. Driving distance, less than 2 minutes. To make it even crazier, there's entrances to other caves, tunnels, vaults, and catacombs located elsewhere on the map, also within such short distance from one another. Some of which are closed off to the public due to safety and health concerns. But I could see that being remedied at Hollywood's request. Is there any wonder as to why they would want to film Halloween Ends here in the wicked thickets of the Dark South? I mean, how could they not? Now, I'll admit as a point of fairness that I could be way off on this one. Always the possibility remains that I could be wrong. However, I know enough, and at this point, you've done seen enough to ascertain that all this talk of towers and caves is damn near fact. And believe me, when my lips start to smack, you peeps get the facts. I'll be monitoring the progress of the production over the course of the next 2 months while they're still here doing my due diligence to spit the truth and keep it 100 for ya, on the off chance any new information may just happen to come my way. In the meantime, if you want to support my criminal enterprise, work over that there subscription button till it's drained of all vital fluid and grayed over deceased. Do that, and you're well on your way to being a made man. Until next time.